guys? Welcome back to the Free Tuition Podcast. All of my 2 viewers, I know you guys been patiently waiting for me to put out another video. It's been about a month, and so pretty much we're gonna jump right into it. I was gone for a couple weeks. I was up in Alaska, a place called Wasilla, Alaska. It's a beautiful state, beautiful city, and I would definitely recommend visiting there or moving there. I mean, it was that cool. People were great, the place was great, nature was great. Everything about that place was awesome. Like, I cannot say one bad thing about that place. I didn't meet one bad person when I was there. A lot better than VA. Yeah. So anyway, I was gone for a couple weeks, got back, and I haven't put anything out because I was pretty beat from the trip and the flight back and school and work and everything, and my son when I got back. But now I have some energy. Cowboys won tonight, and I'm feeling good. So we're going to talk about some shit that happened when I was gone and when I got back, kind of the whole Brett Kavanaugh thing. And if I were doing this for money, I wouldn't even be talking about this guy because it's old news. No one's talking about it anymore. But I'm doing this because I believe in what I'm talking about. And it's even better that I'm doing this video about Brett Kavanaugh late because it furthers my point. I believe everything that happened with Brett Kavanaugh, let's just get into it. He was accused of sexual assault back when he was a teenager in high school. Now, anybody else, the statute of limitations is passed, so this wouldn't even be getting the time of day in court. But since this is it wasn't a legal matter, really, it was pretty much a smear tactic. They were just trying to say, we're not trying to send him to jail, but he shouldn't be a judge, a Supreme Court judge, because he did this disgusting, horrible act back when he was a child, pretty much. And now, as far as what Dr. Ford said happened to her, I do not know if it happened or not, and I'm not here to say that she was not assaulted. What I'm saying is that if you're going to say someone assaulted you, you should at least know when and where you were, when and where it happened. And I wouldn't say you had to have witnesses because most people don't get assaulted when there are witnesses around, so that's not a problem. But at least you have to come with some sort of evidence. And this woman came with no evidence. The witnesses she did call on and never responded or said they don't remember it happening at all, don't recall being at the party that she said it happened at. The man she accused doesn't remember being at the party. Okay, so pretty much at that point, all we had was Dr. Ford saying something happened with no evidence. I'm not here to talk about that per se because no one knows what happened. If he did it, I hope he gets what he deserves. If he didn't do it, I hope she gets what she deserves, which is jail time for ruining this man's life and his family's life. So moving on to the reason why I think this was brought up, it was all politics. The Democratic Party did not want Brett Kavanaugh as a Supreme Court judge. Point blank, simple. It's really not deeper than that. And the proof of this is how many people today are still talking about Dr. Ford's assault. If there were so many bleeding hearts before this guy was voted in, because as we all know now, if you didn't know, you know now. All of my 2 viewers who are waiting for me to break the news to them, Brett Kavanaugh did become a Supreme Court judge. He got the votes he needed. So all up until he got the votes he needed, there was all these bleeding hearts crying and screaming, people banging on doors, protesting in the streets, saying that we can't let this monster win this vote. And he assaulted Dr. Ford, and she's such a poor woman, and he put her through so much stress. She's traumatized and all of this stuff. It took her 36 years to come out with this because she was so traumatized, and we feel so sorry for her. Well, after he was voted in, literally the day he was voted in, everyone stopped talking about Dr. Ford's assault, alleged assault. I can't find anyone this day still talking about Dr. Ford's assault. That's proof enough right there in the pudding that this was never about women. This was never about sexual harassment, sexual assault. It was always about politics. If I can't find one single person still trying to get to the bottom of whether or not this woman was assaulted today, just because this man was voted in, that's letting me know that it was never about her. And she was, if it did happen to her, being used. And if it didn't happen to her, she was still being used and putting her career and livelihood on the line because she can go to jail for perjury. But I mean, it's sad. It's all political. And I recognized this while it was happening. And I'm telling people, this is all political. This is just all grandstanding. They don't really care about this woman or what may or may not have happened to her. And people were denying it, of course, being self-righteous and sanctimonious and saying that they're all about women's rights and believing women, and no matter what, with or without evidence. And as soon as this guy gets voted in, they all just throw her in the trash. Like I feel like I'm the only person who's still talking about her alleged assault. And I just feel like if you really cared about this woman's alleged assault and this man was voted in, you wouldn't stop there. Okay, we all just got the news that she was assaulted. So let's continue on now investigating to see if she was really assaulted. Let's not drop it as soon as the guy we were trying to get kicked out, or we were trying to stop from being voted in. Let's not drop it as soon as he does get voted in. I mean, that just makes you look disingenuous, and that's not even a word. I don't think I just said that. I don't even think that's a word, but not genuine and like phony. And it's like, I don't know. I'm rambling now because it's really a simple concept. They all cared before he got voted in, and as soon as he got voted in, they didn't care about this woman's life anymore. Point blank. That was Democrats for you right there. So moving on past Brett Kavanaugh because it's all done with. I want to get to another example of the bias in this country against males, and I have a story about a woman named Lena Dunham. Okay, this woman is an actress and a director, and I believe a writer. She's been on The Simpsons. She's was in the Taylor Swift "Bad Blood" music video. She also was on American Horror Story and a show called Girls. I don't know what that is. I know what American Horror Story is, know what The Simpsons are, and I know who Taylor Swift is. I don't know what Girls is, but anyway, this woman's obviously doing pretty well for herself. Okay, so like I said, her name's Lena Dunham, and what happened was this actually happened years ago. She wrote a memoir about her life because I guess she thinks she's that famous, and in her memoir, she admits to sexually abusing her 1-year-old sister when she was 7 years old. It says in several passages in the books, it goes into detail about sexually abusing her 1-year-old sister. And I'm just trying to scroll down and see what some of the stuff this woman actually said. Okay, yeah, here's a quote from her memoir. Okay, and actually I'm just going to read a quote from the article on the Daily Dot about it. It says, the passages describe Lena Dunham playing with her sister's vagina when Dunham was 7 and her sister was a 1-year-old. She also writes about bribing her sister with candy so that she could kiss her on the lips and masturbate in bed next to her. Their mother was aware of at least some of the behavior, but apparently didn't think much of it. And this is a quote. Now, this is an actual quote from Lena Dunham in the book. My mother didn't bother asking why I had opened Grace's vagina, she writes. This was within the spectrum of things I did. Okay, so we have her admitting to bribing her little sister with candy to, kiss her on the lips. Okay, it's not that weird, unless you're bribing somebody to do it. Then it gets really creepy. And then to lay next to her in bed and masturbate. That's extremely fucking creepy and definitely sexual abuse, harassment at the very least. And then opening her vagina. That's straight up. I mean, depending on if she put her finger in or not, that could be considered rape. I mean, and she says this was within the spectrum of things I did. So she told us some gross shit she did, and apparently that's not even it. She said this was in the spectrum. So on that scale of from kissing on the lips to masturbating next to a girl and prying open her vagina, there's a spectrum of stuff like that she did to this little girl. And she says she does not believe it was sexual abuse. And like I said, this article is on the dailydot.com. And this story, I believe, came out in 2014. Her sister has confirmed these events and said that, I'm not looking at her sister's direct quote right now, but I read it earlier. Something along the lines of, we should all take what we want to take from reading the memoir. And so this woman has wrote a book about sexually abusing someone and sexually abusing her sister, taking advantage of her. And let's find out what happens to this woman. She's admitted this. Let's remember this. Brett Kavanaugh did not admit this. He denied it. And no one else corroborated this woman's story against Brett Kavanaugh. And he was pretty much crucified. And people tried to take his job from him. Okay. So if I don't type in Lena Dunham sexual abuse, I just type in her name, the first thing that comes up is a review of some movie or show that she's doing now called Camping, and something about Taylor Swift. So basically the point that I'm making right now is there's no news blip about this woman in hot water about sexual abuse admitting to it. This woman still clearly has a job in Hollywood, and her career has not taken any kind of blow from straight up admitting to masturbating next to her little daughter when she was a kid, bribing her with candy to do so, prying open her vagina, and doing a whole bunch of stuff on that spectrum of weirdo shit. But this is the country we live in. I mean, seriously, if any male actor had admitted to doing that shit to his little sister, he would not have a job right now. I mean, seriously, if any male was accused of doing this, just look at Brett Kavanaugh. They would not have a job right now. I mean, I don't get it. But we're constantly forced to try. They're constantly trying to make us believe that females are persecuted in this country. Females are a privileged race in this country, pretty much. I mean, they're a privileged race. They can write books about sexually assaulting people and molesting people and bribing them with candy to do it. And the people who they say they did it to can pretty much confirm it and say, yes, it happened. Just take for it what you will about it in our book. And nothing will happen to them. They'll continue to get jobs in Hollywood. But a male can be accused of a 36-year-old alleged rape, not rape, sexual assault, and he almost loses his job and his livelihood, and his family is dragged through the mud. It's America. So moving on, I want to talk about Kanye West. There's a whole lot I got to say about this, but I'm going to try to be brief because this video is already going long. Black people should be ashamed. That's just they should be ashamed. We should be ashamed. I mean, I say we, but I don't feel ashamed because I'm not out here doing this dumb shit. Black people are so against conservative views and the Republican Party and Donald Trump for some inexplicable reason that they refuse to see blatant racism right in their face. I mean, they're being racist to their own people. All of a sudden, Kanye West is less of a black man because he supports Donald Trump. That is the consensus in the black community today. The black majority community. Kanye West has been called a sellout, a coon. I saw him called a jigaboo the other day, and everything else in the book, and Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus, because he supports Donald Trump, who is our president, our fucking president. He supports our fucking president. And he's called a sellout because Donald Trump is apparently racist. And I'm trying to figure out what evidence has shown Donald Trump is racist. First off, this is how I feel about it. Even if it comes out tomorrow that Donald Trump is on a recording saying fuck all niggers, I don't care. As long as Donald Trump doesn't put any of that shit into his policies that affects me, he can be the most racist piece of shit he wants to. I mean, it's so naive. This country has been run by old white men for decades. And you really think Donald Trump, if he is a racist, is the first racist president? You really believe that he's the first one? They were all the ones before him. They were cool. None of them were racist. Not a drop of racist blood in their body. But Donald Trump, he's the first one. Stupid. I mean, like, I just don't get it. It's the level of ignorance is like unprecedented. I mean, like really. Well, that's not true. The level of ignorance has been there for a long time. I just want to say that word, unprecedented. Like, the level of ignorance has been there for a long ass time. I mean, it's just so stupid. You really think he's the first one? Like I said, I don't think he's a racist. But I mean, I think he says some racist shit sometimes. But I don't think he hates black people. I don't think he believes whites are superior to black people. I don't. I could be wrong as hell. He could be laughing at me right now. But like I said, as long as he doesn't put that and enact that in any policies that affect my life or my child's life, why do I care? I can still respect the policies that he does put in place. He doesn't have to like me. I don't have to like him. As long as he allows me to live my life and I allow him to live his life and respect each other on the outside. That's it, man. That's really fucking it. But people are so sensitive, man. Like, he's racist. Like, so what? Move on with your life. Like, I don't get it. And so, people have been bashing Kanye West for going to the White House, saying he looks stupid, he looks crazy, oh, he's bipolar. But when Kanye West is dropping albums and everything, everybody's blasting him. He's a lyrical genius to them then. But as soon as he does something they don't like agreeing with the old white man, he's crazy. I mean, come on. So I want to go to these comments that Don Lemon made. Don Lemon from CNN. And he said, "What I saw was a minstrel show today." He's referring to Kanye West in the Oval Office with President Trump. And he said, this was an embarrassment. Kanye's mother is rolling over in her grave. All right. This was fucked up on so many levels. Like, those of you who don't know, I recently lost my mother to breast cancer. And if anybody ever said that my mom was rolling over in her grave because of my behavior that they didn't approve with, I'd put them in a coma. That is so disrespectful. Like, the amount of disrespect in that comment. And then you have ignorant people saying, well, he didn't say anything about his mom negatively, so you're just taking it the wrong way. No, people don't understand. Don Lemon does not know Kanye West's mother. He doesn't know her personally. He literally just used her corpse to shame Kanye West for something that Kanye did that Don Lemon does not agree with. Not Kanye's mom doesn't agree with, Don Lemon doesn't agree with. And he doesn't even know the woman, and he's using her dead corpse to shame Kanye's actions. That is truly fucked up. I would never do that to anyone. So I have no respect for Don Lemon. He's a piece of shit for that. And if I were Kanye, like I said, I'd definitely put hands on him. I don't care. I'll take the jail time. Anyway, yeah, he called it a minstrel show. And this is normal CNN. Of course he's going to call it that because he doesn't agree. Like, he doesn't support Donald Trump. He doesn't support any conservative party. And it's all liberals at CNN. So it is what it is. You knew he was going to say some crazy shit. I just didn't know he was going to take it that far. I said, disrespecting this man's mother. But anyway, what else? What else happened while I was gone? What else? That's pretty much it. Yeah, just the whole Donald Trump hate. I don't really I get it. I mean, because the way our country has been, it's so sad to see black people pimped while they're trying to fight against being pimped. It's stupid. I mean, it's sad. You're trying so hard to fight against the Republican Party that you're allowing the Democratic Party to pimp you and allowing these white people to make you believe they really care about you when they're just using you for your votes. I mean, I'm not a racist. I'm not saying all white people use black people. I'm just saying, in this situation with the Democratic Party, what they're doing and what they have been doing for years is saying, Republicans, racist, black people, come over here, we're not racist. See, we'll let you do shit. We'll give you free shit. And black people are, yeah, okay. Fuck the Republicans, fuck conservatives. I mean, it's sad. I mean, you're being used like slaves and you're fighting against the Republicans and calling them racist. When the people who are using you are probably the racists themselves. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty much it. I could really get into a lot more of the black community and the stupid shit that we do and how we're setting ourselves back and everything. But I'll save that for another video. And yeah, so pretty much that's it. I'm really forgetting right now how to end the video, but there's a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I'm just glad to get back in here and start talking. And I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.
Please don't cry one tear for me. I'm not afraid of what I have to say. This is my one and only voice, so listen close. It's only for today. I just saw Haley's comment, she waved, said, why you always running in place? Even the man in the moon disappeared.